Some time ago, a reporter once asked Mother Teresa what she said to God when she prayed. She replied, "Mostly, I just listen." The reporter followed up, "And what does God say to you?" "Mostly, he just listens," she replied. At moments of deep mourning, we hold silence. And we do this, don't we, at times of national tragedy as a mark of deep respect and honour for those who have sacrificed everything. And it's got me thinking about the relationship between quiet, deep listening and holding silence. My very first violin teacher taught me about this, so boy, was she a character, Missy Sefton. Now I've just got to put her in context here. She was about 4'10". She wore tweed skirts and stockings with lines down the back, and she called everyone, "Oh, darling." And she used to smoke great big fat cigars in my lesson in the school classroom. Now picture the scene of this grade 1 pupil scraping away on her Chinese violin and her yelling, "1, 2, 3, rest! 1, 2, 3, rest!" as she was trying to teach me how to take the bow off the string for the 4th beat. What she always said, and I've heard every other good music teacher say at some point, you must let the rests speak. In other words, it's good to stop and be quiet at the moment. Let the silence speak just as much as the music speaks. The music counts for nothing without the silence to frame it. Wow, such wisdom. The silence frames the music. This isn't the passive silence of emptiness or complacency or negativity, but rather the living silence that is pregnant with infinite possibilities and honour. If you wanted to give it a descriptive word, perhaps the closest might be being. Now, the Psalms are the musical songbook of the Bible, and Psalm 46 says, "Be still and know that I am God." Don't overthink, don't overspeak, just be. And the relationship between music and healing, where there are often moments of pure elation and synergy when the music and the silence commune. And Christians believe that this is how it is with God, particularly in prayer. That loving, attentive, mutual listening of the soul and the spirit. And lovers know that this is true. They know there is a kind of attention, a kind of just listening to each other without even a word being spoken. That is one of the highest imaginable expressions of love. So this sort of deep listening where we are taking everything that God is saying, not just the music and not just the silence, we take it all. And at this stage of lockdown beginning to unlock, we can reflect on the joys, the pain, the rest we've had, and for others, the utter chaos and overwork, the confusion. We need to weigh it all, the whole of what God is saying to us at the moment. This will take time, mutual trust, and discernment across the body of Christ. This is the final one in our series of Stop, Look, Listen, that for me is summed up in the verse from Jeremiah 6:16, where it says, "Stand at the crossroads and look. Ask for the ancient paths. Ask where the good way is and walk in it, and you will find rest for your souls." When we are feeling lost and insecure, as though our lives are standing at a crossroads and we don't know which way to turn, we need to firstly stop, be quiet, and look around us. We need to employ those deep listening skills, being extremely attentive to the wind of the Spirit whispering. Listen for the deep song of the Lord. The song may be very quiet or even silent. Musicians amongst us may know that in order to have harmony, we need at least 3 parts, preferably 4, and they are stretched out of over 2 clefs. The treble clef is likened to the praise and thanksgiving of the Spirit, and the bass clef is what is going on in the depths to anchor the chords and give it meaning and structure. What goes on in the deep bass clefs of worship is our value system, our longings, justice and intercession. Everything sits on these. When it says look for the ancient paths, it means to search for that ancient wisdom that has held Christians together over millennia, that God is deep, sacrificial, covenant love. You will find that frivolous chat is fine in the moment, but actually doesn't hold anything of substance for you anymore. It doesn't quench the deep thirst you have. The Lord is asking us to look and listen for the best. Not the, oh, that will do for you, God, but the best. And here we come full circle, because in order for the music to have any real meaning, we must have the silence too. And it's akin to the being and doing debate. I've heard many people fall out about which is more important, being or doing, being a Martha or a Mary, as though doing is much more worthy than those super spiritual folk with their heads half in the clouds. We need both. To be is to be content, safe and secure in God's love. But it's not usually an inactive place. And later Jesus called us to be the light of the world, not to merely complain that the world is too dark. He calls us to be the salt of the earth, not merely to protest the world's rottenness. So in my thought for this month, is it silence or music? Is it being or doing? Well, I'm afraid you can't do what you won't be. It is both being and doing, where the most important word is and. Listening, deep discernment across the body of Christ is needed as we stand at this momentous crossroads brought about by the coronavirus pandemic. We need to be looking and listening for the ancient practices, the disciplines of the Spirit that require us to dig deep into God, for it is only then that we will be satisfied. For were the whole realm of nature mine, that were an offering far too small, love so amazing, so divine, demands my soul, my life, my all.